Well, good evening, everyone. Let me open up my hat a bit so you might see my shining bright eyes. This time next week, I'll have a cast on. Being able to call everyone a loser. Getting some surgery on my hand. I'm a little worried about it. It's the first surgery I've ever had. So, you're going to knock my ass out. Hopefully I wake up. Guess you guys will know as of this time next week. Cheers. We had a wonderful week, a busy week. Lots going on this week. We had what's up, Mr. Beck? We took a TRX around on the ridge, Ed and I, Mr. Ed Assed. And it's funny, Ed and I were kind of laughing as by the time he got to turn 5, I was like, it's impossible not to apex these corners in any car, isn't it? And he's like, yeah. It's kind of this is how you go around this thing in any vehicle. Doesn't matter. This is what you do. You go in these spots. So we had a whole lot of stuff going on. First thing is we have our Labor Day sale going on. Those of you who have already partaken, thank you. For those of you who are sitting on invoices waiting for the weekend to get through, fantastic. For those of you who haven't taken a look, then you should. We have great bargains abound. They're everywhere. 15% off suspension setup packages, 10% off suspension arms, 10% off exhausts, 10% off MCS packages, 10% off aero, 15% off 991 intake kits. Yeah, get her done. It's the best sale we've got coming up to Black Friday. So if you don't want to wait until Black Friday, now's the time. Besides that, we had a great track day. We had another private track day on Wednesday, and this one was extra special. We had a lot going on. We had a Manthey GT4 RS that had new tires per our prescription, and we had the Dundon GT4 RS full lab rat owned by Mr. John McClellan, the GT4 RS MR owned by Mr. Jed McCarthy, who's also an Edward, just like Ted is an Edward, and they're Eds of many numbers. I think Jed is a Edward 3 and Ted's an Edward 4. They both have, Jed has an Edward 4 and Ted has an Edward 5 in his family. So just adding multiple Edward little exponent number. So that's awesome. I technically am a James 3, I think, but we all have different middle names. So James Arthur, James Robert, and James Otis. And his dad was James David, I think. So anyway, I actually don't know my great grandfather on my dad's side. I have to ask. I know my grandmother on my great grandfather on my grandmother's side. So Mc4RSs all around. Absolutely. I thought that was funny. It's the Mc4RS showdown. So we were going out there and we were trying to show which one's faster. Is it the Dundon Lab Rat or is it the GT4 RS MR? Is it the Manthey car? Because if you open up a magazine, you would expect the Manthey car must be faster. It gets all the press. Well, it's Manthey's owned by Porsche. They have Nürburgring times. They have, superstar drivers, et cetera, et cetera. So what we did is we're like, okay, let's throw some constructs at this. A Mc4RS, absolutely, with your Mc-Filet-O-Fish and your McGriddle. I would like a Mc4RS, please. So we let me back up. The Manthey 4RS package that is on Jed's car that he did not. He purchased a car that came with the package already that had been sitting on a dealer lot for 7 months. So I don't believe that he paid full retail for either the car or the package. Good for him. Awesome. Which is probably part of the reason why he was interested in doing this. And good for us. If you had a 4RS and you went to your local Porsche dealer and said, Mr. Porsche dealer, I would like a Manthey MR package for my car, it would cost you $60,000 plus about 40 to 45 hours of labor, which I got from our friends at Porsche Tacoma, is the accepted number of labor. That's a lot of labor. So add 10,000 on top of that, $250 an hour on average, depending on if you're in Lincoln, Nebraska, or Miami Beach, or downtown LA, or Beverly Hills, or wherever. Sure, the hourly rate for Porsche dealers varies like it does everywhere because they're all independently owned and just franchisees Porsche, so they can kind of charge whatever they want. So the idea kind of is, for the same amount of cash that you would spend on an MR package, what could you get? What's the performance of what you could get for the same amount of cash that you would spend? So we're at 70. Yo, somebody mean mugging. This particular car, Jed's car, has AP Racing brakes on it. Add another 12, 13 to that. So you've got about $83,000 to play with, including installation. John's car has our catalog. It's a catalog car. It's got everything: power package, wheels, brakes, suspension arms, MCS, aero. I said power package. I said power package. It's got a lot. It's got a lot. And that's how we tested it. So I guess it's a bit of a question for those of you who are listening, and we've talked about this internally. There isn't a great answer. There's just lots of ways we can skin the cat. I hate that phrase. I'm a cat dad, so I'm not sure where that came from, and I'm not sure who's skinning cats and all the ways they're doing it, but it comes out. Modern vernacular. And I digress. Essentially, you have a budget, and what are the things that you can get for that budget? Our offerings and Manthey offerings are a little different. You can buy a part from us whenever you want. You don't have to buy the whole thing. Yes, plus the wider rear tires and the wheels for it. Yes. Yes, the wheel set. Thank you. The forge lines for the wider rears. Thank you, Jack. Yes, that is also something that John has. Most guys with these cars will buy 19-inch wheels anyway, but we can include it in our construct here. So Manthey is sold by Porsche, comes with a warranty. Big check mark for them. You know, like they're going to warranty it as if it was a new car. Awesome. We have a lot of Porsche dealers in the US that sell our parts, and they don't give us a lot of grief for it. So, at least inside the United States, it's not as big of a benefit as it might be in other jurisdictions. So let's just go with that. We'll say that of the parts that we're installing, they don't void the warranties on the cars. Your mileage may vary on that depending on your relationship with your Porsche dealer, but typically when you've bought a $200,000 car, it buys you a little bit of bandwidth. A little bit. Maybe not a lot, but a little bit. And all the parts that we sell do have a warranty. So there you go. And this is Mr. Ed Assed out there going fast. I wish we could listen to the soundtrack. We probably could. But he has our full power package on his beautiful 3RS. And come back to Ed and running his TRX on track shortly. And you guys are wondering why I'm burying the lead as far as the question. So I guess the question is, how do we compare what is a, quote, factory car to what is an aftermarket car? We all know the outcome. We kind of all knew the outcome before we did the test. At least those of us inside the building did. Because we've tested the stock car, and you can look on paper and see what the MR car brings as far as like bench racing gains. You know, it's total downforce, it's this, it's that, blah, blah, blah. And when you put them both on the same tires, you equalize them. So now it's just about the power, the aero, the grip, the setup. That's kind of what we're testing. And the fact that we kind of got the result we were expecting makes how we summarize this result even more important. It's more important. I'll come back to that, Jack. I'll just say, so far, we like Supercar 3Rs better. Just say it that way. CRS, Supercar 3Rs, a little better. The Hoosiers did not leave Ted with copious amounts of confidence, and I'll have him speak to that in the chat with you. I don't want to speak for him, but little squirmy was the feedback from a few folks. So the not to spoil the fun, but we're going to summarize all of this for you in likely the reason I'm being coy, the reason I'm saying a lot of uhs is I could spill the beans and everyone's expecting me to, but I'm trying very much not to, because Justin, Alex, and Ted would literally corner me and kick my ass. So, yeah, that's good. How much faster do you think the Lab Rat was than the MR? We're gonna say it's faster. By everyone, because it was everyone that drove the car. How much do you think it was? Let's do that for a minute. We're going to summarize this in kind of two veins. There's vein came up again. How about that? Ted and I are going to do the nerdy thing, and we're going to go through all the squiggly lines. And we're going to do that live. We'll probably record it. It won't be a YouTube live. But yeah, 0.4 seconds. Absolutely. 4/10. Thank you, Christian. Love you. I posed the same question to our track group. And one of the guys, one of our buddies, Ed, and he was being a troll. He was poking the bear. He said, well, Ted's a pro. He should be able to drive them both to the same number. And I'm like, are you being serious? In the same vein, Larry. That's in the same vein. What are you talking about? And I'm reading this and I'm like, let me deflate one of your tires and take your wing off of your 3RS and see if you can go out and run the same number. That's kind of a ridiculous statement. But to Ed's, kudos to Ed, what he was doing is he was trying to troll us a bit and troll me a bit to try and get me in the headspace of where the internet is with this kind of test, right? They're going to look at young buck, small company, upstart, you know, Dundon Motorsports is going to sandbag, right? We're going to lie and cheat our way into showing that our car is better than the invincible, prestigious Manthey Racing because they're from Germany and they're owned by Porsche. Okay. I think that's a ridiculous thing to even contemplate, but if that's the construct by which we need to come from, then we need to embrace it and we need to make sure that the data that we're presenting out into the world is pretty ironclad. So let me talk to you about how we constructed this test. First of all, we put both cars on the same tire. Put them both on the same tire. I actually got this question earlier from one of the guys in the track chat that I already answered this once in the track chat, but I was happy to answer it again. We put the Manthey car on the Manthey prescribed alignment from Manthey. When you buy the car, absolutely. Headline, Dundon cheats by making car faster for head-to-head tests. How dare you upstage the Manthey car? How dare you? What are you doing? Thank you for that, Larry. So we put the Manthey car on the Manthey prescribed alignment, the much ballyhooed and seen on the internet Manthey alignment. My 3RS got the Manthey alignment. My 4RS got the Manthey alignment. They got it on the little scales. They got the lasers, and they're shooting laser beams, and they got the Manthey alignment. Awesome. Fantastic. It's that good. We're going to put that car on it. The owner of the car was disappointed when I mandated that for part of this test, because in his mind, it was rolling it backwards. But fair is fair. We give you our alignment when you buy our lab wrap package. This is our alignment. This is what we tell you to do. You got to buy these arms to be able to get to that alignment. If you don't buy the arms, you can't get there. You'll be compromised. Okay, this car has the arms, has our alignment. Fair is fair. Manthey alignment, our alignment. Same tires. Great. So we're so far. Awesome. We're going to have Ted go out first in the Manthey car. We're going to give it the benefit of the cooler weather. First time out, Ted got warmed up. We aired down the tires. He went out and he sent a lap, and he did a great job. He was within a half second for all of his laps, as professional absolutely should. And he had a very respectable time in the Manthey car, and it was faster than Ted had gone in a stock car on Cup 2s. So some of that's tire, and some of that is the MR's tuning. Absolutely. We're not going to dissect what for what, because that was different cars, different days, different tires. We could. I believe in our data. I believe in our driver having good integrity. And this was another thing that was brought up. Well, Ted works for you. He's paid by you, so he's going to make sure that the lab rat is faster. And I'm like, I'd say if it came down to tenths, maybe. But seconds? No way. Race car driver is set to 11. They are going to run the car fast because it's their own pride at stake for running that car fast. They couldn't have somebody, he couldn't have risked the owner running the car faster than him. That would have been fucking obvious. And that was impossible. That's not going to happen. Not impossible. There are some owners that may be as fast as Ted in their own car. Maybe. They would be pretty rare. So we were pretty certain that letting Ted loose in a car, in a certain spec, with a set of tires, and telling him, go run 5 laps, go set a number. Get the tires up through their window, go as fast as you can, off you go. We're good. So we've got the Pro. Pro goes out first thing in the Manthey car, then he goes out in the Dundon car. So Dundon car gets second for that temperature window. Now, a couple other things about this day. In practical matter, we completely lucked out for the weather. Completely lucked out. It was for an August day in the Northwest. The day started at like 58 degrees. And almost the entire day, it didn't get over 65. It was overcast, never had a whole lot of sun. So we had, pretty much prime conditions for going fast, which is, pardon my French, that shit doesn't happen up here. We had prime conditions all day, and it was a good thing. So let's get to the TRX footage. and that little blue car, if you still have that picture of the little blue car, there were 18 drivers at this event. Generally, very few go off. So this is me and Ed going out after about an hour of a Lincoln Navigator going out to rescue a driver and his very nicely redone 997.2 GT3 RS. He was out there driving that day. And he fully beached the car in the kitty litter, full on gravel, not even sand, full on gravel, at the exit of the thumb, or the entrance of the thumb, not the exit, the entrance of the thumb. And I'm like, I didn't even know there was gravel back there, because Ted and Doug had a similar excursion. There was not gravel back there at that point. Maybe that's why there's what's up, NB? Welcome. Yeah, out there. So he was there. So there's gravel there. You can see it. Oh, did Ted end up threading the needle between the gravel? And yeah, they threaded the needle right by the, they just missed the gravel. They were going so hot they came through. So they had a brake failure on an AP Racing kit, which is why we don't sell them anymore. So yes, also true, Orist. So there's that. So let's talk a little bit about this, because I saw how buried the car was. I believe Elliot came up the hill and he experienced what in 997 land most 997 drivers have some experience with, and it's called ice mode. Ice mode is a thing where the car senses the speed in which you're pressing the pedal very quickly, and it won't allow the car to oh, you went through the gravel and went way past it. I didn't. Okay, so you guys were flat cooking. There was no slowdown. Got it. Copy. So ice mode, if you hit the brake pedal, it pushes back really hard. Ice mode is trying to keep the front tires rolling so that you still have some steering control. You can get around things. See you later, Philly. Thank you. And the depth in which he went fully deep into the gravel, his explanation was the brakes weren't warm yet. You've had quite a few turns that were high speed at this point. I'm pretty sure the brakes had some heat in them. I don't think it was that. Just my own viewpoint on this. My own opinion. I have no data, but exactly. Ice mode, that of which we shall not speak. Nobody in Porcelain likes to talk about ice mode because it's scary. That said, ice mode's pretty easy to recover from. You release the brake pedal, you get back on it. Those of us who have tracked 997s for a little while have experienced this at some point, and you just got to release the brake pedal and not slam it so hard, and the car will slow down. It just needs to be released and then pushed back. It doesn't stay in that state until you turn it off. It's fine to do it. It's a little bit of an older ABS system, so it has older capabilities to be able to deal with things. What's that? Oh, you see that little dot way off in the distance? That's the car that got beached. So anyway, we had an hour and a half of track shutdown with a comedy of errors. Yeah, a race car driver can do that. I've never been able to do that. So I always released it and went back in. I came out, went back in, and it was fine. So when you got those big thighs and big calves, you can push all the way through that. No, you will stop. So anyway, had an hour and a half of shutdown. You can't park there, sir. 100%. I'm sorry, sir. You can't park there. So Lincoln Navigator went out. It got stuck in the sand. It was literally up to the floorboard stuck in the sand and gravel. So we had to pull that out first. And then we pulled out the 997. And luckily, I learned some things about our good friend Ed. he was a lumberjack for 10 years. I didn't know this. So if there's somebody that can rig some shit and pull some shit out of some shit that it's stuck in, that's your guy. That's your guy. I mean, you don't doubt him. So had a bunch of people up there. There you go. Well, now we're both stuck. Yes. So that's what we were dealing with. That's groovy. So we got the navigator out. We had to dig it out. We had to put boards under it. We had to pull it with tow straps, all that bit. It was a mess. So we lost an hour and a half right as Ted was about to do his hot laps in the Lab Rat. So we lost the window on the tires. You know, new fresh tires. So he was able to go out and do them anyway after we got this done. We then swapped. We had the owners of the cars went out in their own cars, and right, Ed's a big dude, so they went out in their own cars and they set their own laps. We had the timers covered; they could not see their laps when they went out. What was interesting is the owner of the MR, the Manthey car, set a new personal best with the timer covered, which is kind of what I was hoping. Get them into the zone, get them just concentrating on driving the car, feeling with their butt how fast they're going, not looking at a number on a screen and a green or a red bar on it, but actually just going out and driving. So he set a great time for him in his own car. John was a little bit off his personal best. And the reason that John was off, John is our customer with our Lab Rat, for those of you who don't know John. And the reason that he was off a little bit is we put his alignment back to the Dundon factory specs. And there had been another shop taking care of his car, and they didn't have it exactly where we had it when we sent the car off into the world. And so where they had it, didn't have it turning as easily into the corners. They had it with a lot more rear toe than it needed, and too much caster in the front. So we corrected a couple of those things. And John's report back was he had to kind of reset and recalibrate for some of the corners, because his turn in, he was ending up early apexing corners because the car was turning so well, which he loved, but he had to go reset some things and figure it out. So this is great footage. I'll explain this. We sent Kirk Meyer out with a GoPro on the front splitter of our 3RS to go get some chase footage of the cars, which we'll use as we build this. So John was a little off his pace, but both of the amateur drivers, both the MR, both Jed, the driver and owner of the MR, and John, the driver and owner of the Dundon Lab Rat, were pretty close to each other when they were driving their car. So that was good. When we went out again, they switched cars, but we had to wait till after lunch because we had burned up an hour and a half, and track goes hot at 9. Track goes cold at 12 for lunch. So we'd lost like half our time in the morning. So very nice. The boys went out after that. That's John in the MR. Nice. Hiccups. Sorry, y'all. Getting them out after lunch. I don't know how many of you guys are fast after lunch. Generally not great to go try and set a lap time after lunch. You got food in your belly. You know, I'm not typically my fastest after lunch, but it's what we had to deal with. Luckily, the weather cooperated the entire time, because I was sitting here going, you know what? We're going to get so screwed if these guys swap cars. And gets 15 degrees warmer. So, the end result, very compelling. We had a 45-minute sit down with Paul Blake, who got to drive both cars. He's the chief driving instructor for HOD and the previous driving instructor for PCA. I don't know if that's John. That might be Paul out at 2. No? No? Okay. HOD is going to try some chicane days, Mike. So just FYI. Paul, a lot of guys are interested in the chicane. So I personally am not a fan of the chicane at the Ridge. I think it's contrived and overly narrow. But you got to try it at least once. It's kind of like running ORP backwards. To me, ORP has a natural flow. But yeah. Yeah, they just actually did their chicane day after this day. They did it on Thursday this last week. So anyway, test came off great. We will share the results as we get to it. Couple questions for you guys. I'll come back to that, Brian. I've been answering that question for a lot of folks, and it's not as simple as what we might think it is. So, but I'll come back to that, Brian. We're going to make 2 videos. One is simple. Here's the result. Here's how much it costs. Here's what you would get. Here's what a pro did. Here's what the amateurs did. Done. Then there's going to be a more exhaustive squiggly line set or construct where Ted and I go through each driver's before and after, the differences, why we think the differences are there, driver confidence, et cetera, et cetera. The first video will include the interviews. The interview with everybody that we went through the lap times and how everybody did, that was 45 minutes. So we're not going to be able to summarize this in 5 minutes. So sorry, Internet. You're going to have to spend some time to understand the difference. But this is one of the few that I've seen head-to-head, like, actually at least tried to be controlled and scientific. Yeah, literally, Kirk's having to work because that's Jed in the lab rat, and Kirk's having to work to keep up. Jed threw down a number. Yes, he did. So, which is, yeah, he's walking away from Kirk. Kirk needs to get it done, son. Let's go. Some of this I haven't even seen yet. Yeah, Jed's gone. Jed's gone. Kirk ain't catching him. That's pretty funny. We just got Tarmac in front of us now. He's over there. That's cool. That's kind of fun to see. Walking away from a 3RS. So we're going to put all this together. We'll try and have the live. Ted, if you can make it down next Wednesday, we'll try and do it then. Go through all the data, look at everything, get this all on film, get it in a can. That way it's done, and we can push it out as we get the other movies done. Let me answer Brian's question. So, does the catback give the missing torque loss on the 992.2 GT3? Let's talk about that. Maybe. Don't know. I don't know that the torque loss is from the second set of cats in the muffler. Something we went over a week or two ago. The 992.2 GT3 has a second set of cats in the muffler that are not monitored. So they don't have oxygen sensors around them. Just the primary cat has the oxygen sensors around them. So it's in there as a bit of a restriction. So you're going to have some pressure loss around it, et cetera, et cetera. So the question is, if we just did a cat back, are you going to gain power? Generally, we say no, because you need to have scavenging to increase the amount of cylinder that you're able to use when the amount of cylinder you're able to use by pulling out the spent exhaust gases that remain in the cylinder, making room for more fresh O2 and gas in said cylinder. Okay. On the 992.2, maybe it will. Maybe it'll make a difference. The thing with the RS is, because the 992.2 has RS cams, it has RS throttle bodies, it doesn't have RS tuning. It's another thing that we've been talking with customers. Like, if I buy your street headers and your mini crack muffler, ultralight tie muffler, insert rear muffler here, will that make as much power as an RS? No, very unlikely. It's not going to make as much power as an RS. We got you TRX apexing all of these street corners, so come back. I'll come back to that, Tyrone. Yes. I do have a man crush. He is a manly man. He's a big, burly, manly man. I spend time with Ed in a tent. That'd be fun. Cheers. We would have meaningful conversations in the woods. Right? Nice. Who doesn't? Well said, brother. Well said. So 992.2 is going to be governed by the torque limiters of the ECU. That's the short story. Porsche is not going to allow that car to make more horsepower than the 3RS, which is not as governed by the ECU. And they have different regulations to keep that car under, at least in Europe. And they're likely to continue those torque limiters as they come in here. So we won't know until we get to test a 992.2 GT3 on our dyno, but I very much expect, based off of the horsepower that they have advertised, inclusive of the bigger cams and the throttle bodies and all these optimistic people, thinking that they're going to get a huge gain in power by taking the muffler off and taking off those extra cats, you're probably going to end up being a little disappointed, would be my guess. So set your expectations a little bit more moderately. I think our exhaust headers full muffler on a 992.2 GT3 is likely going to end up in a similar place as the 992.1 GT3, about 30 wheel. If I had to make a guess. There may be some higher gains at higher RPM as we let the car breathe a bit better. But even the 3RS, with those higher lift cams and moving the power higher in the RPM range, it doesn't, when you start from a low torque number and you add to it, you're still only adding to a lower torque number. So 3RS has great gains down low with our system, but again, Porsche's kind of dictating what's going to happen and what the ECU is going to allow to happen. Once we have some numbers for you, Brian, we will let you know, and all of you to know. Thank you for your comments, Tyrone. This is kind of the elephant in the room. So one of our local 4RS owners was like, well, yeah, but the Manthey numbers suck. That's just like what you would put on a regular car. And I will beg the question, this is what they're telling people to put the car on with their kit. If you get it from a Porsche dealer, this is what they say to do. Great. Is that what they ran it with at the Nürburgring? Because that's what they're telling you to run it with. Did they run it with something different? Then why won't they share? Because the KW setup that comes from them is what we ran Jed's car on. The alignment setup that comes from them is what we ran his car on. Oh, wait, let me call Manthey and say, hey, I'm on a different track. I need a different setup. What's the busy signal? What's the can't connect? Sorry, this number is no longer disconnected, whatever. That's essentially what you're going to get. You're not going to be able to get a hold of anybody. Just like Barry said in his video, when he went, Barry Miner, it's track time, he went to Germany. He went to Manthey. He asked them to walk him through all the details on the 4RS, and they essentially said, no, leave. So that's a little suspect. If you want $60,000 of my money, I want to talk to somebody about this, and not the tech at the, or the service advisor or the salesman at Porsche that's reading off a PDF they got from Manthey and actually doesn't know anything. This is me, and this is why Barry ended up going with us, because we're helping him. We're changing things. Absolutely, Larry, yes. It's the limit of the stock components. So you're not going to get much more in a meaningful way, at least safely, because you know the tie rods have to remain with a certain amount of thread engagement. So you're not going to get much more camber other than what the Manthey alignment would prescribe. That's why there's aftermarket parts to allow you to do that. Are those aftermarket parts unsafe? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. We've been running aftermarket suspension parts, either made by us, made by others, for a very, very, very long time. And they actually make the cars safer because they have more grip, they're more predictable. You can get the alignment appropriate for the tires and the conditions that you're using the car in. We set guys up on Smoky Mountain roads that they don't go to the track at all, but they'll go down the Cherrahala at a very brisk pace, and they're essentially running an hour's worth of track time on the Cherrahala. So yeah, we need to set that car up so it can actually handle that, and the tires can handle that, and we get even heat distribution, tires are getting worked, all that kind of stuff. So that's a great answer, Ted. Some of the commentary in the chat. Larry's asking, Ted's driven the Nürburgring. We sent him over there and a few of the others with a 992 GT3 build that was done by Sportec in Switzerland and MCS to go see if we could maybe challenge a number at the Nürburgring. So yes, we have been to the Nürburgring. We do know what they would run, spring rate, caster, camber, toe, etc., etc. Sorry, Joseph. Yes, and welcome. You're right. It's probably not an hour. It's probably more like 20, 30 minutes. But still, it's a long track session. Yeah, I mean that's a solid, easily a full session going full out. So, Mr. I sold my crack pipe has joined us, and I'm running your competitor's exhaust is here. Welcome. So, and Tyrone, the issue with just throwing a number at the car is you have caster that goes up when you increase camber in the front. You've got toe that needs to be dealt with as you push the bottom out. It's a whole system that needs to be understood, right? Most guys, when they want to talk suspension alignment, they're worried about camber. They just want to camber. That's all I need. Camber. That's it. No, there's a lot more going on here. It's more than that. So, I love you, Joe. You know that. I'm just giving you shit. I talked to the guy that bought your crack pipe. So that's how I knew. It's camber, caster, toe, and then you can't get the caster back in spec because the caster arm and the little puck that you can turn isn't allowing you to move it all around. You can't get enough thread engagement on the toe because you moved everything out. You got more, exactly, it's a cascade. And our point in doing it the way we did is we tell you you need the arms when you buy this, and we sell them, we have them, and we give you the alignment spec to be able to achieve that. So it's, here you go, done. Buy this, here's the data, run this, go run your car. There's no guesswork. There's no take it to your local guy and pray that they know what the hell they're doing. Because if you don't know, maybe they know, maybe they don't know, maybe they're putting an S2000 alignment on your car. That would be stupid because that's got a completely different suspension geometry. But you get where I'm going, right? So if you are going to give a tuner your money and expect them to give you a complete solution, that's the basis in which we did the test. So ingredients plus recipe equals stew. Ingredients alone didn't teach you how to cook it. Didn't tell you how many spices to add. That's why the Dundon sauce is better. So we're super excited to get this out for everyone. I think the results, only one person, 2 people. I saw 3.5 seconds and 0.4 seconds. How much faster do you think we went around? Wally Salem, yes, he does. Simon knows, he knows camber, and he knows caster, and he knows toe, and he talks to us. He's a homie. We love Simon. Simon talks to us, and he gets it done. We've been sharing secrets with him for a minute. That's Simon. That's 2 Simons, which is kind of cool.
Double being.
Double. Stop it. Stop it. Double Simon. That's what I'm gonna say. Yes, CB, absolutely. So the issue with that is you're on your own. You're on your own. You got to go figure it all out. You got to go set it all up. You don't know what the alignment's supposed to be that's optimum. You don't know what the damper settings are supposed to be that are optimum. We give you that. And when you call us, like Larry has, like Matt has, like Barry has in some of his videos, some of them not always entirely right with what needs to happen, which is fine. That's the discovery. They didn't talk to us before they did stuff, but that's okay. Yep, you know the real numbers. We shared this a little bit with some of our guys locally. We don't want to share it widely quite yet. We're gonna steal our own thunder. Nobody will watch our shit because they'll only know. But CB, the point is with the MR, it's you spend a lot of money for this. You should have some support. You should have some. Hey, I did this. Why la la la? Well, your TRX is stock, yo, and it's perfect stock. And I got yelled at for calling it a Raptor, as I reasonably should have. So there you go.
Facts. Oh, he was testing it.
Yeah, I love it. Joseph was secretly our QC department. So, for those of you that don't know, a crack pipe is loud. Cheers. Crack pipe also transfers vibration into the car because it's a race exhaust. It's for a freaking race car. You don't buy a crack pipe and expect it to be quiet. So, that said, Joseph ran a crack pipe without any clamps and without just essentially holding it onto the headers for 35,000 miles. which is a testament to the construct and the design and the way that we build things. It is not, that is not how we prescribe to use it. It should be clamped to a muffler bracket such that it is supported. It seems that it is okay to, yes, more vibration than a spherical. Thank you, Larry. Which we have that meeting this coming week with FK and our coding company. So our coding friends, so we can work on a next generation spherical bearing, which I'm excited for. That should be a fun conversation. For those of you that don't know, Coda is hard on spherical bearings. Some of you may know, some of you may not. Teflon is a great material for a lot of things. Teflon can be a little soft in an extreme environment. So sphericals, when tested at their extremes, will slowly develop a bit of play. Every spherical will do this. FK has been wonderful to work with. We're very happy with them. The next step for some of this is to understand what is the potential to use other films. I have a semiconductor background. The company that I called as doing this kind of work for the military, and they're using a different film than Teflon. So I don't want to give too much away because I feel like this is actually something patentable and usable and is a technology that many may not immediately think to use. But generally, advances in one market segment come from common knowledge in another. It's common knowledge in semiconductors. You can use this, this, and this for these kind of tribological. Tribology is the study of friction, for the non-nerds who are listening. And surface energy and tribology go together. There are a number of coatings that we can use to understand and or influence the tribology of a bearing, give it more strength, less compressibility, potentially a longer life, with more lubricity, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm excited to go down this road with these two great companies. So yeah, and yes, to answer, Mike is asking, will a 992 GT3 headers and muffler be passing, has it been passing sound limits of 103 decibels? A 992.1 GT3 has, yes. Loud muffler quiet tips should get you to 100 to 101. Yeah, exactly. What Ted wrote. Loud muffler is 103 to 105, depending on conditions, where they're measuring it from, et cetera, et cetera. Put some quiet tips on it, you're around 100. We've actually had guys pass at Vancouver Island Motorsports Park, or Center, whatever, VIMC, whatever the C's for. I don't know. It's Canadian, whatever they use for park. They 4RS that we built up there, another lab rat up in Canada. He got our quiet tips, and he's with our muffler and the whole thing. He's passing 98, which I was floored at. It's like, holy shit, that's crazy. So, if you got problems, yo, we'll solve it. Just a little vanilla ice for you, for those that are that far back. We getting there, brother. We getting there. Magical coating, absolutely. We also are going to try to get down to Coda in the fall. Been working with, we have 3 lab rats in various states of tune. So Matt has a lab rat that's essentially a suspension and aero lab rat. The Thank you. C equals circuit. Thank you, CB. Appreciate that. You must, yes, from the Great White North, you are writing down to us. Larry has a header packaged lab rat with aero and suspension, and Barry has a header packaged lab rat. Nobody has our intake yet at oh, right on. Thank you, NB. That's fantastic. Yeah, it's always funny. We say these things, and there's guys who are listening that know the guys we're talking about and are out there in the world. It's an incredibly small world, which is super cool, honestly. So we've got 3 lab rats down at COTA that none of them are what John has. It's not the full meal deal lab rat. They all have like 95% lab rats. They're all missing a little something. So we're working on that. Oh yes, they look ridiculous, 100%, but they work. They look ridiculous. They stick out and they come down. They 100% not, don't leave those on the car out of the track, but they work. But they work. Better than going home from your track day, brother. Because that was the point. And I will say this. Are they more ridiculous than the craziness with MagnaFlow mufflers and pipes kind of coming up and on the bumper and being held on by straps and tape on the back for the Laguna Seca pipes? They're certainly not more ridiculous than that. So, there you go. 100. Thank you. 100 decibels. Not 98. I have been corrected. Dang it, I was doing so good with not losing my train of thought. Gone.
MR versus Dundon.
Yes, thank you, Justin. MR versus Dundon at COTA. We have identified that there is a 4RS Manthey kit. There is an SSR full kit. Those are the guys that cut a hole in the front trunk and vent the radiator through the front trunk. Good solution for creating downforce. I don't know that everybody wants to cut a hole in their car, but that's a good yes, Bazazuko Porsche quiet tips all the way up and out. Totally. I lost my train of thought, Stoner. Thanks, Ed. Love you too, baby. Appreciate that, Larry. That'll be good. We can try and get that together. But yeah, we're excited. We had a good result at our home track. We had to test this here. We want to continue to do this at as many places as we can so that people will believe it. Because I know we're going to put this all together. We're going to get the movie out there. We're going to get out into the people that don't know us, don't know what we're about, and they're going to call bullshit. That's impossible. They did it wrong. They're cheating. They're this, they're that. And that's fine. So the proof will be in the continued pudding, right? This is what, when I shared the results with our aerodynamicist, Ryan, he's like, you know what? Racing highlights a lot. And when you go out and you set a lap time, there's no more bullshit. It's either you did it or you didn't. That's it. There's no wiggly, there's no this, there's no that. There's just, you did it or you didn't. You won, you came in second. You won, you came in third. Whatever. He's like, proof's in the pudding, and there's the pudding. So I'm excited to get this out for everybody. We should have some, I'd say give us a week and a half to try and get some stuff boiled down. Next week's a holiday week, so we only got 4 days. But yeah, anyone have any questions for me before we sign off? There's been a whole lot about what we did. what we're going to tell you. Ed, nobody watches this. It's fine. There's like all you guys and like 5 people watch this, so I'm not that worried.
30.
We got 30 in the house?
Yeah.
Wow. We got 30 in the house. That's cool. It's not like we have 3,000 in the house. I didn't tell the internet anything yet, so. It's like Ed's part of our marketing department. What the fuck? Ed's telling me I talk too much, but that's not uncommon. So, and Ed, I'm going to say it live. I 100% appreciate you pointing out what the internet or what others might be thinking and not saying about Dundon. I 100% appreciate that, because you expect your friends to be your echo chamber, right? Your safe place. And, quote, friends, they're not, they're extended friends, they're acquaintances. Yeah, absolutely. Ed keeps us real. He keeps us real. And he's one of the few that does it from a place of love. He does it from a place of wanting us to win and giving us that perspective that not many others would do. So kudos, brother. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I find the time that I get to spend with you precious. So, and I mean that wholeheartedly. So, anybody got any questions for us before we sign off? Otherwise, we're going to get out of here. It's time to get some vittles from Anthony's and get on out of here, since Pumpkin isn't working. I got no reason to say. Give you guys a few minutes to actually hear that before we sign off. All right, y'all. Have a wonderful Labor Day weekend. I'm going to try and get out to the gun range this weekend and use my new Nighthawk so that we can get this. Yeah, I'm thinking about it. So, what's my OnlyFans? Who, Ed or me? That's personal information, NB. You gotta. Yes, 100%. All right, y'all. We'll talk about Orist's car and Ted driving Orist's car later. We're working on a smaller kit. At this pace, maybe after the new year. So we gotta get things built. So we've got designs that are percolating. NB asked, when can we expect 9923 RS aero parts? So we've got 2 versions of that. One is easy bolt-on stuff. The other is far more large-scale parts, different wing, different mounts, different splitter, different diffuser, all kinds of things. But it's prototyping the carbon that's the thing. Takes time. So the smaller parts we're going to try and have out by the end of the year, but that's going to be a push. That's going to be a push, honestly. So hang with us. We're going to make some good stuff. It's going to be not a $100,000 shark fin kit that they haven't even released numbers from the Nürburgring yet for. Nobody really knows how much faster it really is yet, but they can make money. Good for them. That's all I got. We're going to sign off. Absolutely, Joseph. 991 deck lid progress. We have the machined deck lid in-house so we can check shut lines. We'll do that next week. And then we can hopefully release that to production without any modifications. If we need to do modifications, we will do said modifications. And then we will release it to production. So you're not going to ever see active aero for the 4RS from Dundon. It's not necessary, as we've demonstrated, or will forthcomingly demonstrate. It's not necessary. Just need a few more horsepowers. Get you a few more horsepowers, you don't need active aero. Kind of crazy how that works. Appreciate the questions, y'all. Great questions. Thank you for keeping us honest and on point. Things that we've talked about in the past. I will see you next Friday, I hope. I go in for surgery on Thursday to get some little doodad here in my hand, right there. I'll be in a cast, and I'll be able to tell everyone that I'm a loser. There you go. I'll have that. So, be like that. I'll be in a cast for 2 weeks. I won't be able to use my right hand, so you can use your imagination for what that means. Maybe I'll be a little more grumpy when I'm here next. You know. You have to get a 911. There you go. Well said, Ed. I love that he's trolling not just us, but the other posters in the chat. It's funny is Larry's afraid to drive Saga's 9923 RS for that very reason, Ed. So love you guys. Have a great night. Have a great weekend. It's Labor Day. Officially the end of summer. Start of fall, and the start of really, really great track season for us. It's the end of summer. It's the end of hot. It's the start of cool and extended dry temperatures. Dry weather should be great for more testing. You guys have a wonderful weekend. We'll talk to you later.